What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. We are back again this morning. It is Tuesday, the 19th of March, 2024. I'm back again for another brunch. Big up all the coffee gang. Big up all the coffee gang. I much appreciate every single one of you. This time, I'm not gonna drop the coffee all over myself. Yesterday, I dropped the coffee all over myself on the stream. It was crazy. It was crazy. My floor was all sticky. I had to do all work after that. It was long. Big up all the real ones. We've got some interesting stories that we're going to be touching on today, ladies and gentlemen. Joshua Kimmich has been contacted by Edu. Yeah, Edu is making things happen. He's cooking behind the scenes. He's got his barbecue out. He's ready. He is ready for the summer, ladies and gentlemen. And according to the reports, he has contacted Joshua Kimmich. He's been in contact with quite a few people, according to these fraudulent journalists. And there's a number of interesting things that we are going to be touching on. Real Madrid tapping up Garnacho. I'm not too sure how true this is. Pep Guardiola's scared of Arsenal right now. He's treating our game at the end of this month like a final. He called it a final himself. Oh, there's so much to actually to delve into. Big up all the real ones in the building. I see ya. Good morning, good afternoon. Let me know where you're watching from. Hit the like button. Oh, Barbados in the building. Big up all the guys in Barbados. What a lovely country. Would love to go there one day. Someday, I will go there. I will go there someday. All right, Saka is actually dropping sources. All right, man is dropping sources, ladies and gentlemen. Let's quickly switch over and see this video that Nando's are promoting of Bukayo Saka. They're promoting this video of Bukayo Saka, dropping a new source. I think I have to go and try this source out. Peri Peri Saka, they've called it. Hey, welcome. Yes, my guy is chefing it up.
Okay, do you need more chili, chef?
Yes, please. Come on, chef.
Behind.
More garlic.
Yes, chef.
More tomato.
Yes, chef.
More lemon.
Yes, chef.
Thank you, chef.
487.
Bloody hell. Now, you know you got to try this sauce, but you have to try this sauce. I think I'm going to take my partner Nando's this weekend. Babe, we're going Nando's this weekend.
Needs a little kick.
Little chilies.
Nice.
And my sauce is good.
In restaurants now, that's pretty interesting, but I never see that coming. Man like Saka doing up sauces and stuff like that. Interesting. I'm definitely going to try that out, bro. Definitely going to try that out. But yeah, man, interesting stuff that we're going to be talking about. Lucas Paqueta as well. We do know he's been linked with a move to Arsenal for quite some time, but Manchester City look like they're the favourites to get this one done. I was actually talking to our boys in the group chat this morning about Man City. What's going to happen with Man City and their 115 breaches of FFP? What's going to happen? That's so interesting. We're seeing Everton and Forest, Everton, other teams that are being punished. But Man City, what is going on? Are they going to be punished? Are they going to get away with the accusations that are being made by the Premier League? And they're really, really, really serious. It's one of the reasons why it's taken so long. I know a lot of people are interested in it. But I was telling my boys this morning that I think Man City are going to get away with it. I think they're actually going to get away with it. They're too powerful. They're too powerful now. If this was Man City, 10 years ago, then yeah. But I don't think anything's going to happen. If anything does happen, it's not going to be what people expect it to be. And that's the truth. And that's just because of the people that Man City have in their corner, the type of money that they're churning over at the moment, the people that they're ultimately fucking with right now. And I think when you're at the top of your game, when you're a Man City, you're a Barcelona, you're hard to be touched. People think it's going to be that easy. Premier League can do whatever they want, but I think even Premier League are kind of shaking in their boots at the moment. I don't think they've got enough evidence to convict Man City and prove that they were doing whatever they are accused of doing. But all you got to do is the eye test, and you'll be able to tell that Man City have been doing something dodgy. The transformation and the transition for Man City was just, it was questionable. But anyway, that's a different subject, different topic. One day we will touch on it once we find out what's going on with Man City. But yeah, they're interested in Lucas Paqueta. Man United also interested in Lucas Paqueta. Manchester United believe that they'll be able to get a deal done with West Ham because West Ham are interested in Harry Maguire. And they want to do a player plus cash deal for the midfielder. So that could be something to look at. I would love to see Lucas Paqueta at Arsenal, man. What a player. We should have signed him before West Ham signed him. It is what it is, though, you know. Maybe Arsenal could, you know, pop out of nowhere and try and get Lucas Paqueta done. You know, especially if we get rid of an ESR or Fabio Vieira, a player in that position. You never know. If City gets off, it means one thing. It's all corrupted. It can't have 115 and then say no proof. But you have to, one thing you have to bear in mind, if you look at it, it's just the Premier League. I don't think the Premier League had, you know, any evidence. It was something that they looked into, and they didn't. Something didn't sit right with them. Something didn't sit right with them. So what they're now doing is they're looking at all the numbers. They're looking at the prize money. They're looking at what man achieved at that time, what type of money was pumped into the club, what wages were given out. Like, there's a lot of number crunching that both parties need to do at this moment in time. But if you got to think, if a team was actually cooking their books and they were cooking their books with the intentions of getting away with it, you can only assume that they've obviously covered their ass somehow. They've done something to make everything look normal. But we'll leave that to the Premier League. The Premier League obviously needs to cough up the evidence, and let's see if they do that. But yeah, this Lucas Paqueta move potentially could be happening in the summer. I think it's inevitable for him to leave West Ham. They're probably not going to do what most of their fans expected. Had a decent season last season, but yeah, they're probably going to be losing one or two players, man. One or two players. Arsenal's still looking at this Benjamin Sesko deal, man. There's a lot of people believing that this is the striker that Arsenal will target. Pardon me. 43 million release clause. Listen, I'm not for this Benjamin Sesko guy, man. Yeah, Paqueta to City is guaranteed. We know. Yeah, nothing concrete at this moment in time. Anything can happen. Wax, stop camping on Warzone. What are you fucking talking about? Obo gave him that nickname, Little Chili. Aubameyang gave Saka the nickname Chili. Okay, Little Chili. City at most will get a fine or a transfer ban. I mean, the way it looks, with how serious that situation is with Man City, the outcome that people are expecting is that they get relegated. That's what people are expecting. And with how serious the case is, with the charges are, I mean, that should be the only outcome. But if that's not the outcome, then we know, you know what's going on here, innit? You know what's going on here. Let me know your thoughts on this Benjamin Sesko guy. Is he good enough for Arsenal Football Club? Are you happy to sign Benjamin Sesko? 43 million release clause. And, you know, look, he's scored some goals this season. I've watched him. I've done the eye test on him. I just don't think he's that guy for us. The only way I'll be happy with signing Benjamin Sesko is if we sign a top striker alongside him. And we've got both players. But if we look at Benjamin Sesko as the marquee signing, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be extremely disappointed. Yeah, he's, you know, 20. He's got time to grow. He's got a lot of potential. Mikel Arteta might get something out of him. I don't know. But to be quite fair, I don't really want to wait for that. I don't want to put my eggs in that type of basket. I want to bring someone in that's proven, that's bagging right now. Who is bagging right now? That's been bagging. That's been consistently bagging. That's who I want to bring in. You know, that's the player that I want to bring in. Not Benjamin Sesko. Now, that's not the answer for me. The answer for me is, you know who, Victor Gyökeres. Victor Gyökeres. That's the player that we need to be bringing in. And reports are claiming that Edu has opened talks over a preliminary deal, which is believed. My God, I can't even read this here, blood. Can I? Let me make this bigger because my eyesight that bad, blood. Is my eyesight that bad? Bloody hell. And he believes his signing can be done, for less than 100 million exit clause. There we go. Bloody hell. Bloody hell. I definitely need to go to the opticians, my guys. I'm telling you. So yeah, Edu in contact with Victor Gyökeres. He believes he can get a deal done for less than 100 million euros. which is the players' release clause. And I did say this to you guys the other day, man. You come on, Sporting Lisbon, I'm not going to be trying to sit there and hold on to this release clause, especially if Victor Gyökeres says, actually, I want to leave. I want to leave. You paid how much money for Victor Gyökeres? About £15 million. So if Arsenal go in there with 50 million, I'm pretty sure Sporting Lisbon they're gonna bite the hand straight away. They're gonna bite the hand. Yeah. Big up G Navas in the building. I see you, man. Big up Wax and everything in the building. Come on, man. Big up A. I see you. Big up A9. I see you. Big up Elder. I see you. Obviously, Man City fan. He says we will get a fine for not cooperating. That's it. Cooperating. Yeah, I don't think anything harsh is going to happen to Man City, man. People have some mad expectation, you know. People have some mad expectation. In fact, a part of me believes that the Premier League doesn't even have all of the evidence or enough evidence to actually say this is what the crack is. I don't think they do. And it's another one of the reasons why I think this is just going to just get thrown out of court. And these men are going to walk away and continue to do what they've been doing and winning leagues, winning trophies. Money fines are pointless, especially for a team like Man City. Of course, money fines are pointless. What does that mean? You have to remember, like, if what I was saying to my boys this morning, yeah, and I know this is going away from what we're talking about. If these 115 cases were going to be detrimental to the point where Man City were going to get relegated, yeah, I honestly believe that the people that stand in Man City's corner, yeah, they're not going to allow it to happen, bruv. They're not going to allow it to happen. So there has to be another outcome other than Man City getting relegated if there is evidence to prove that these guys are doing dodginess. I just don't think they're going to allow it to happen. And people say, well, what do you mean? How is that going to be the case? Listen, the guys you're dealing with are billionaires, blood. They're billionaires. If this decision is going to be detrimental to any project that they have going on outside of Man City, yeah, blood. And it's Man City that's funding these projects, bear it in mind. Yeah, they're not going to allow Man City to get relegated because that financially won't make sense for these people, you know. Brown envelopes time. I'm telling you, it's been happening. This is what happens when you are the big daddies. What you think Barcelona ain't been doing up brown envelopes for years. This is what I was trying to show, man. When you're so powerful like these dons are, bro, these leagues can't tell you nothing, bro. They're not going to tell you nothing. The football goes out the window at that point. The City court case, I think, is later on this year. According to the latest reports, they want to get it solved by or before the next campaign. So by this summer, we should have an outcome of what's happening to Man City. And just like A9 says, we're going to be seeing brown envelopes taking place. Nothing is happening to Man City. Nothing's happening to them. Nothing. I don't even see them getting a point deduction. I think Premier League going to say, oh, you know what? Sorry, we got it all wrong. We'll chuck it out the window. Because the chief at the top of the Premier League that runs this shit is going to take a big fat check. You think you think Man City are getting punished? No. You can punish Nottingham Forest. You can punish Everton. You can punish Portsmouth. You can punish Middlesbrough. What do all four of those teams have in common? They are nobodies. They are nobodies in this game. You mean nothing to the chairman of the Champions League, the chairman of the Premier League. You mean nothing. Trust me. When it comes to brown envelopes, these man ain't ramping. Big up Rodney in the building. Nothing but love and respect to you, my guy. Appreciate you each and every time. Make sure we are hitting the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Just under 100 people locked in. Let's get close to 100 likes in this video before we wrap this up. It don't look good on Pep, knowing he's been involved in two of the biggest clubs. If it turns out Barcelona and City are found guilty. Listen, man. You know, Barcelona have been corrupt for years. Juventus have been corrupt for years. There's been corrupt clubs out there, man. They've been corrupt. See, Juventus, the evidence on Juventus is so transparent, so obvious that these guys had to resign. They had to resign. Why do you think all their directors cut out at Juventus? But these man were cooking the books, doing bare stuff for years. But they got caught, man. They literally got caught red-handed. Everybody had to put in their resignation. Everybody had to leave Juventus, bro. Yeah. Barcelona have been cool. Barcelona have been able to cover their tracks. Man City have been able to cover their tracks. The people that are driving these buses are not jokes. They're not jokes. They cook and they collect. Exactly, 100% facts. The clubs you mentioned that are punished are small fries. Exactly, they're small fry clubs. They're going to get punished. Yeah, you man, come on, bro. What you're doing is stupid. But when you're dealing with a Barcelona, when you're dealing with a Real Madrid, when you're dealing with a Bayern Munich, when you're dealing with a Man City, these are clubs that generate the most money in the football game. They generate the most money in the football game. Remember, this is a business, ladies and gentlemen. They need to keep that cash flow going. They're not going to... You really think they're going to penalise Man City and make and relegate Man City? Man are mad. And people can protest all they want, bro. They can protest all they want. You have no right. You have no right. Why do you have no right? Because furthermore, there is no factual evidence out there right now in the public domain that suggests Man City have been cooking. So how can you sit out there and protest? It's mad. It's mad. They know what they're doing, man. They know what they're doing out there, man. Did you see Forest were docked 4 points yesterday? Yeah, they're contemplating whether they're going to appeal it, because if they do appeal it and they don't get the appeal, then they could get deducted more points, and that could be detrimental to whether they stay up or not. So they're thinking about it right now, and they're like, oh, maybe we're just going to accept the 4-point deduction. Big up Ravi says, you are quite right, Wax. Trust me, these people don't understand how corrupt most industries are. People think it's all by the book. Not everything's by the book, mate. I tell ya, it's only by the book when you're some fucking idiot. Yeah, that's the truth. When you're an idiot and you can't, fuck with the big boys, then you have to abide by that book. When you're in with the big guys, a lot of the time the book goes out the window, blood. The book goes out the window. Yeah. And then corruption comes into place, and it's about money. It's about who gets paid. And come on, man. Teams like Arsenal are not stupid enough to find themselves in a situation. Arsenal, they'll never need to cook their books. Thank you to Arsene Wenger. Thank you to Arsene Wenger, the blood, sweat, and tears that he put in for Arsenal. They never have to cook the books. They can increase the value of the operation because they've been turning over results every single year for the past 20 plus years. Man City was never that team. Man City was a nobody team. If you actually look at the amount of money that's been spent by Premier League clubs since the Premier League began, Man City are still not even in the top 10, blood. They're not even in the top 10. Tottenham has spent more money in the Premier League since the Premier League started than Man City. Arsenal have spent more money. Man United, the team that have spent the most money in the Premier League since the Premier League started is Liverpool. Most people won't even believe that. Liverpool have spent the most money in the Premier League since the Premier League started. Yeah, they spent more money than Manchester United, bruv. Yeah. But the outcomes and the ROIs have been totally different. Totally different. You can spend all that money, that's fine. What are you turning over, though? Yeah, man. My mate who works in hotels, he said that the Arabs don't rent just one room, they rent the floor. No surprise, City answer everything with money. What about Chelsea with all the money they spend? Big up Mo, and that's a good point, because my boy made the point in my Mandem group this morning, and it's a valid point as well. But Chelsea's situation right now is they're under the microscope because of what Todd Boehly has done. Not what happened before Todd Boehly, it's what Todd Boehly has done. Now, Todd Boehly's been told, listen, you have to alleviate this amount of finances in order for you to be okay. So Chelsea are fine. Chelsea, all they've got to alleviate is £100 million. £100 million, that's where they're at. If they can sell 2-3 players in the summer, bro, their man are cool. Chelsea are not, they're cool. But this is what people are talking about. What about Chelsea? What about Chelsea? There is one thing that come out about Chelsea, and this was back in the day. I was reading on it this morning when my boy brought it to my attention, right? But it was just about what Roman Abramovich was doing back in the day. Roman Abramovich was wiring money to offshore accounts, and he was cleaning. Yeah, that's what Roman was doing. Roman was cleaning. Roman come in with a plan. He knew what he could do. Remember, you have to understand Roman Abramovich and where he came from, and who he was fucking with, and what type of circles he was dealing with. Yeah, his agenda was about cleaning. I need to clean, and he cleaned a lot of money, blood. He cleaned a lot of money. It's a bit different to what Man City done. Man City were trying to make out that they were a big club. They tried to cook their books, and it's mad because I don't know what they would have done to make that transition smooth. How would they have made that transition smooth, so smooth to the point where the Premier League don't even notice? That doesn't make any sense, blood. Because I know FFP's come in a little later, but there were still financial regulations that teams had to abide by. So how did Man City do whatever they did over that 3-4 year period? Because it was a short space of time, and get away with it. Only now Premier League are like, and then you want to go back and start backtracking and start looking at numbers and start number crunching now. Why now? Out of all of the time that you've had, why now? Bearing in mind the allegations is that these guys have been cooking for every single season. It's 14 seasons, blood. 14 seasons I'm hearing. 14. Why the hell have you, man, waited up until now to start calling man out for 14 seasons of cooking the books? Doesn't make any sense, blood. Doesn't. Big up my guy Alex in the building. Rohan says, as an accountant, shell companies are hard to track. But these guys, is this Darth Spurner? I know Darth Vader is the channel accountant. He does all the finances for the channel. Gives us the lowdown. But we've got another one. We've got Rohan in the building as well, who is another glorified accountant. Now, we appreciate that, man. It's like, you need to understand from different perspectives. Like everyone, and this is one thing I was trying to put across this morning to people, but I don't think I did a good job in putting it across. It's just like, some people, look at things from a different perspective, and people are wired differently. Do you know what I mean? So when you can bring a subject to the table, you have 3 people that look at that subject. All 3 people come with different opinions, different conclusions, etc., etc. However, there's probably one person or 2 of the people that are really close to the actual truth when it comes to their opinions and conclusions. But it's just about how people are wired and how you look at things. Not everything goes by the book in this game, bro. Not when you're a billionaire club like Man City. The game changes for you. It's just like the real world. When you're a normal don, normal 9 to 5. There are rules that you have to abide by. And everyone, you would think, the perception is that everyone has to abide by these rules. And you think, yeah, of course, everyone has to kind of abide by these rules. But the more popular you become in the world, and the more bigger you become, the more stronger you become, the more richer you become, the rules start to change for that person. The rules start to change. Of course, the rules don't change to a point where, oh no, because you're rich now, we allow you to kill anyone you want to kill. We're not going to go over exaggerate, but we're talking about financial rules. We're talking about various other different laws that are in place for people that are on the grounds that are not necessarily in place for the people that are sitting at the top of these oil companies and the top of these. Do you understand? So things are different. Things are different, man. Things are different for everyone in the world, blood. As you said, I'm not worrying about the big boys, worrying about the small fries. 115 charges, but there's no time to look at that. Let's look at Nottingham Forest and everything we got for them. So the difference is, big up Mo, the difference is that Man City are telling the Premier League, whatever you're saying is bullshit. And the Premier League are like, okay, they feel like they've got something, so now they're going to investigate it, they're going to keep looking, and now they're going to take it to the tribunal so they can then take it to the next step if they feel they've got enough to obviously prosecute. But these other teams like Nottingham Forest and these man have already agreed to it. So they said, oh, you man are in breach. And they're like, oh yeah, we are in breach. Yeah, we did do this and we shouldn't have done it, or whatever it is. So Nottingham Forest and Everton and all these teams, they've actually said, oh yeah, we're in breach. Man City, like, bro, what are you man talking about? We're not in breach. We ain't done no breach. What breach are you man talking about? Look at our books. Our books are clean. And Premier League are like, okay, all right, we're going to look in your books then. And now they're bringing up 115 different things they believe Man City have done. And now they need to produce the evidence for every single one of those things. So that's the reason why it's going to take a little longer than all these other cases. But it's kind of like going to court as a normal person and you say, oh, I'm not guilty. And then you go to trial. And that's basically what the process is for Man City right now. They're going to trial. It's crazy. But I honestly think that, you know, the Premier League are going to back out of this. They're going to back out of it and nothing's going to happen to Man City. You'll see it by the end of this year or by this summer, we'll see. And everyone's going to come back and say, Wax, flipping hell, what you said there. Can't believe it. Can't believe it. It's a corrupt game, man. Very, very corrupt. But anyway, so obviously, no, just literally skipping through waffle sessions at its finest. We're literally just all over the place. Talking about Man City for those that are joining. Talking about Man City in an FFP situation. Obviously, Everton and Forest and Everton and a few other teams have also been penalised for their breaches, but Man City have not as of yet. So where people are concerned, people are questioning, like, right, what's going on here? And I'm just kind of giving you my opinion on what I think is going to happen. However, back to this, Edu has open talks to sign Victor Gyökeres, and he believes, ladies and gentlemen, that we are going to be able to sign him for less than the asking price. Okay, less than that asking price. Guys, make sure we are hitting the like button, man. Do subscribe to the channel if we are new. Turn on notification bells on, all of that type of stuff. We appreciate every single one of you. Big up all the real ones in the building. Just over 100 people now locked into this. Yeah, make sure we're hitting that like button. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on Gyökeres. Wax, the reason why Everton and Forest did not fight back because of the financial costs to those teams, hence why they accept their faith. Yeah, to a degree as well. Like, listen, these teams, yeah, they don't have it to go all the way to fight these type of cases. Man City have got a lot of P's, bro. It's a different story, man. Different story. But these teams will be penalized, man. They're nobodies in the game. They can't cough up a buck. They can't cough up a buck. Do you know what I mean? Man City couldn't cough up a buck back then, but now Man City are one of the biggest clubs in the world, probably the biggest club in the world at this moment in time, based on what they have been doing over the past 5 years. Biggest club. So do you really think these dons in the game are going to let anyone talk to Man City? I don't think they are. The same way Barcelona have been doing dodgy stuff over the years is exactly the same way Man City have been, and they will get away with it. It's just how the game works, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know where people have been. I don't know where people have been, blood. I don't know where the guys have been. Anyway, let's see what's happening. Let's see what's happening anyway. Gyökeres to Arsenal, extremely interested. Love to see it happen. And it does look like Arsenal are going to be pursuing this one hard. And there's a number of different names. Obviously, we spoke about Benjamin Sesko already. I don't want Benjamin Sesko, but there's still this young talent as well. We spoke about him yesterday, Mikel, man. He's got 8 goals in 11 games so far in the Austrian league. He's doing tremendously well. And as I said, whether we bring him in to be a player in the first team here at Arsenal, he could be the answer to our current striker woes at the moment. It could be a replacement for Eddie Nketiah, and I believe Mikel would go down as a homegrown player as well, because he was training. He's been at Arsenal for about 3 years, and then prior to that, we signed him from Fulham. So he's been here for quite some time. And this could be the answer ultimately. And if he's not, even if he's not, I still think Arsenal can get some money out of this. This could be like a Fuller in Balogun 2.0, whereby the guy's out there putting up numbers, he's doing well, and Arsenal are just doing it to increase the value. So when it comes to the summer, we sell him. And then we go out there and get one of our own players. I don't know. A player that Mikel Arteta wants, I don't know. But Mikel could be the answer, ladies and gentlemen. Pep Guardiola is shook. Talking about Man City. We've been talking a lot about Man City in this stream, but Pep Guardiola is shook and he is scared. He doesn't want it with Arteta, blood. He doesn't want it, bro. What does Pep know that we don't know, blood? What does he know? Trust me, he's scared of Arteta, man. There's something about Arteta that really gets Pep anxious. And every time you speak to Pep about Mikel Arteta, you know, you can see that he admires him. You can see that he really envies him in that sense. Like, bro, there's something that Mikel Arteta has told him or shown him, or he knows about Mikel Arteta that we don't know. And this is the reason why this guy fears him. He sees our derby as a final. I think a lot of people do see it as a final as well. It's a big game. It's one of the biggest games of our season. If Arsenal do not win that game, it could be detrimental to our chances of winning the Premier League this season. If we do win that game, it takes us a step closer to winning that Premier League. I think most people, and I think a lot of the pundits and a lot of people online will start saying, you know what, Arsenal are favourites to win the Premier League if we beat Man City. Just clocked that lady is the female version of lad. Wax, the FA knows the world is watching them as to how they handle Man City case. So hence why it takes time, because they have to get it right. Exactly. No, 100%, 110%. 115 charges isn't going to get done overnight. You know, this is been heavily scrutinized, and the Premier League, in order for the Premier League to say, all right, cool, we're going to charge you, they feel that they have something. But now that it's gone to that level, this is when the big boys step in and tell the Premier League, okay, here you go. And the chief of the Premier League says, oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, what did I just do there? Thank you. You know, them way there, and everything gets scrubbed under the carpet. Nottingham and Forest, these teams can't do that. They're not powerful. They're not powerful, bruv. Like, this is what you got to understand. That's what you got to understand, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure we are hitting the like button, though, ladies and gentlemen, all of that type of stuff. But Pep, when asked about this season's title race, he says, one step at a time. We have a final against Arsenal. I don't want to think too much into the future right now. It has been an intense period. He says, I will not watch this international game or international games. I will rest. And when they arrive, we will see which players survive. When we come back, we will have 3 days to prepare for the game against Arsenal. Let's go. Absolutely, man. It's a very, very big game, man. And like I said, if Arsenal can get over Man City in this game, I think a lot of people will start making Arsenal the favourites for the league. Even though we still have a hefty fixture list. How many games we've got left to go? 8 games. Still got Aston Villa. We've still got Tottenham, even though they got battered on the weekend. We've still got Man United. You know, these are teams that can't be underestimated, but these are teams that potentially leave massive bumps in the road for us and for that title chase. So yeah, man. If you look at all 3 clubs, Liverpool, Man City, and Arsenal, Liverpool look like they've got the easiest run of games. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see who overcomes these obstacles, man. I've got a good feeling about Arsenal, though. I have to be totally honest. But I'm not going to be backing any type of move like this. Dani Ceballos is on the Arsenal transfer list, but is not a priority. Atletico Madrid is interested in Dani Ceballos. 2 clubs from the Premier League have been linked with a 27-year-old, and that's including Arsenal. Now, we already know Dani Ceballos. He's been at Arsenal before, two loan spells, one under Unai Emery. The Mikel Arteta, brought him back on loan again for another season. And I didn't like what I see of Dani Ceballos, to be quite fair. There were moments, I can't lie, when he was under Unai Emery, there were moments where I thought, actually, this guy could cook. And he did look good when he had a player like Mesut Ozil in front of him. You know, when he was under Mikel Arteta, he never had anyone in front of him that was creative. You know, we had Willian in front of Dani Ceballos. Willian, and then we had Odegaard for a 6-month period. You know, and Odegaard was a baby at the time. Didn't know what was going on. So when we did have Dani Ceballos, we never had anyone in front of him that could help him cook under Arteta. But when he had Ozil, he did look like a much better player, blood. He did. Arsenal are set to let Cedric leave at the end of the season for free. Waste of money for Cedric Soares, ladies and gentlemen. As we do know, we knew it was inevitable. The moment we gave him that 4.5-year contract, I knew we wasted money. It was pointless. You know, why did we give Cedric Soares a flipping 4.5-year contract? That is mental. Absolutely mental. And it didn't make any sense to me. Still doesn't make any sense to me. And Arsenal have literally lost money. We could have sold Cedric. Remember, we could have sold Cedric in January to Besiktas. They were willing to pay us a couple of £1 million, like £2 million, but Arsenal wanted more. Arsenal wanted more. Didn't make any sense. And now we're just going to let the player go for free. No sense whatsoever. But it's good that we're letting him go for free. It frees up, obviously, a place in the team. It frees up a new registration, more money. I think it's on about 75, 80k a week. And yeah, he's going to be leaving. Many clubs in Europe considering Cedric as a top option for the summer as a free transfer. So what a waste of money and time. Didn't do anything for us. I mean, I can't remember Cedric being integral or influential in any game since he signed, to be fair. Maybe I'm being harsh. Do comment down below. Has there been a game where Cedric Soares was influential? Do comment down below. Let me know. Gabriel Magalhaes has withdrawn from the Brazilian squad. Was announced yesterday afternoon. All of our Brazilian players have actually pulled from the friendly. Gabriel Jesus, Gabriel Martinelli, and Magalhaes. Now, I honestly think they're looking at this one as a waste of time. Why am I going on international duty with Brazil for friendlies? It's not the Euros, and I'm probably still going to get selected for the Euros, regardless of how these friendlies go. But at the same time, I've got a chance to take my club over the line in both the Champions League and the Premier League. Am I stupid enough to go on this international duty right now? No. Big up all of the players at Arsenal that rejected international duty. Ben White, the Brazilians, Thomas Partey, every single one of them. You know why? Because international duties is bullshit. If it's the Euros, if it's the World Cup, cool, we make an exception for that. But all these friendlies, long. And a lot of the time, we're going out on these international duty friendlies and we're coming back injured. Yeah? Coming back injured, it's long. So all of our players have more or less pulled out of international friendlies, and therefore they should be fully fit going into that Man City game. That Man City game is so much more important than sitting there playing for England. Can you blame Ben White? He doesn't like Gareth Southgate. He doesn't like Mr. Holland. Yeah, he doesn't like these dons. And you're telling me I've been the best performing right back in the league, but you're going to take me on this international break? Cool, I'm going to go on holiday, but you're going to leave me on the bench. You're going to leave me on the bench and tell me that Kieran Trippier deserves more minutes than me. All right, cool, shut up. I ain't going anywhere. Big up Ben White, my guy. Warrior. Yeah, warrior. Telling me, blood. Ben White's ready, blood. Ben White wants the league. He wants the Champions League, blood. You think he wants to go on international break? Saka should have done the same thing, but, Saka's obviously, he's a poster boy, isn't it? He can't. He has to, when you're a poster boy, you have to keep up appearances. That's how it works. You have to keep up appearances if you're a poster boy. Who remembers that Dennis Suarez flop loan? Big up Shaheen, exactly. Bloody hell, man. Bare fraudulent Spanish dons. Saka hype. No, but you see, Saka is a poster boy for England, so he has to keep up appearances. Saka could never tell Gareth Southgate, you know what, I'm not playing for England. I don't want to play. He can never do it. Can never do it. And the maddest thing is, England or the FA that employ Gareth Southgate, if there was ever a time where Saka had a problem with Southgate or told Southgate that he's not going to play for England because of X, Y, and Z, I'm telling you now, the FA are going to step in and sack Gareth Southgate, blood. Sack him. Get out of here. Get out of here. It's not going to happen. It can happen to Ben White, but it's not going to happen to Saka, bro. When you're a poster boy, it can't happen to Harry Kane. You imagine that happened to Harry Kane? Think Gareth Southgate's still sticking around? Are you mad? You can never fall out of Harry Kane. You're on your knees begging Harry Kane, fam. You got to beg Harry Kane. The moment Harry Kane says, I'm not playing for Gareth Southgate or I'm not going on to international duty, is the moment the FA step in and say, Gareth, see you later. Let's see you later. What's the backstory with Ben White in England? It's pretty interesting. There's been a falling out behind the scenes. Gareth Southgate tries to deny it, but apparently Steve Holland, who is the assistant manager at England, didn't appreciate Ben White. Didn't like him. I can't exactly remember what the incident was, but there was some incident. A war of words was exchanged. Ben White decided to leave. He decided to leave the World Cup, come back to England. Since then, things just haven't been the same. Gareth Southgate, he's trying to cover up for Steve Holland. And this is another reason why Ben White's like, you know what, you're a dickhead, blood. You think I'm going to come and play for you, blood? I don't care if Steve Holland's your guy. Tell the truth, bro. Don't come out. If you're going to talk, tell the truth. Don't come out here and talk and say, oh, no, there's no problem. I don't know. There was no friction between him and Steve Holland. It was all fine. No. If you're going to come out and talk, tell the truth, bro. Don't come out and start denying shit. Ben White ain't gonna. Ben White is Ben White's not a really. As far as I've looked into Ben White, he's not really an outspoken person. He's not a person that really engages in conversation that much anyway. So when you're that type of person, your responses are going to be really subtle, really humble, really whatever they are. But you're going to have that response because you know man's just talking shit. If man was real, if Gareth Southgate come out and said was just real and said, yeah, there was a little situation with Ben White, but don't worry, we've solved it. Ben's a good player, blah, blah, blah. I think Ben White would have said, you know what, I'll go back. I'll come and play. I'll come and play. But Gareth Southgate sat there and lied, blood. Gareth Southgate standing on his last leg, man, 110%, bro. 110%. But yeah, Gareth Magalhaes, Gabriel Magalhaes, and the rest of the Brazilians have returns. They want the Premier League and the Champions League more than they want any international break. Yeah, they want to focus on getting Arsenal over the line. So big them up, man. Big them up. There was a little conspiracy around the Mbappe video. I know the guys in our football WhatsApp group were talking about it this morning. They were saying, "Oh, Wax, this guy shares the same theories as you." And basically the guy says in the video that, listen, there were certain things that Mbappe done that made it look questionable. Like, why did he react a certain way when I asked him about Arsenal? Why did he laugh and joke? Like, so there was obviously a little, people were looking into it and acting like conspiracists, right? But Fabrizio Romano's kind of cleaned it up. Fabrizio Romano is more or less cleaning it up. And again, he's not confirming that anything is done and dusted between Mbappe and Real Madrid, but he is confirming to a degree that this deal is inevitable, and it's the deal that's happening. Real Madrid know it, Mbappe know it, and it's just kind of like a few details that these guys are ironing out before they cement the deal, basically. Again, I still don't, I still have a little bit of optimism about someone else, not just Arsenal, but someone else maybe getting in the race and signing Mbappe. It does say here, though, it's important to point out one more time that Kylian Mbappe's switch to Real Madrid is advancing. Both of them agreed, and everything is going in the right direction. So again, not solidified, it's just agreed and going in the right direction. But it's just taking the time to discuss the final details that gets the contract signed. No panic, no alarm between Kylian Mbappe and Real Madrid. He didn't even start contract negotiations with Arsenal or other English clubs or clubs from other parts of the world. Full focus is on completing the season with PSG and then joining Real Madrid. This is the idea, and this remains valid for Kylian Mbappe, who is waiting to sign his contract. So yeah, that kind of cleans it up. That more or less cleans up everything until the day where Mbappe is standing there with a Real Madrid t-shirt. Everyone just has to assume that he's a Real Madrid player, Yeah, it's funny. It's funny that you say that, Johan, as well, man. But you never know, man. You never know, bro. You never know. You never know. Okay. So I wanted to quickly mention, I only got about 15 minutes left on this. I'm running really, really slow. We started waffling about Man City 115 charges, and we got sidetracked for a minute. So I've got two more players that I want to quickly touch on. The first one is a non-Arsenal player. It is Garnacho. I know most people in the chat won't even care, but we are going to share it because that's what we're doing now on the channel. We're not just talking Arsenal, we're talking everyone. So Real Madrid apparently have been in contact or aim to be in contact with Garnacho. Now, Florentino Perez wants to meet Garnacho when he travels to Manchester on the April the 17th. He wants to sign the winger for Real Madrid and hopes to convince him. Now, look, this seems like just paper talk. I think it'll be easy for Real Madrid to convince Garnacho to go over there, but I think it's paper talk. I think, it's just BS at this moment in time. How does anyone know that Florentino Perez wants to meet Garnacho on that specific date? Doesn't make any sense to me. But you can never chalk it off. It could be something that's genuine, that is real. And Real Madrid are trying to do everything in their power to get a deal done with Garnacho. And it could be Ronaldo 2.0. Maybe not the same amount of money, but Ronaldo 2.0 could be taking place. And that will be sad news for Manchester United, because I think Garnacho has been one of their most important players this season. He's played the most games this season since he's been there. 26 games, I think he's played. He's got about 8 or 9 GA so far this season, so not too bad. But you know, when you're looking at the data, you can clearly see that they really, really rate Garnacho, and Ten Hag is definitely a player favorite. Is a fan of the player favorite. Yeah. So yeah, let's see what happens with Garnacho, man. Will Real Madrid be tapping up the player? Will they do some illegal activities? You know, that's what I'm saying. These big clubs don't care, blood. How many times, blood, do we see clubs tapping up players, bro? I mean, that's against the law, isn't it? That's against the law, according to, you know, the rules and regulations that we have in football in general. You can't tap up players. Do you really think Arsenal cared about that? Do you really think these teams care? When you're a big club, do you think they care? But if you're a small club and you're doing some dodginess, like trying to tap up players, you quick penalize, bro. You're quick penalized, and it's brought to your attention that you breached something, and now you're hit with this fine, and you should never tap up players. Yeah, Man United have been tapping up players. Chelsea taps up players. Man, Chelsea taps up Ashley Cole. Do you remember they had meetings with Ashley Cole? Chelsea had meetings with Ashley Cole when they wasn't scheduled for meetings, when it wasn't authorized by the football club to have those meetings. They were tapping up Dons, blood. Did Chelsea get punished? No. Chelsea gave us Gallas and got a world-class fucking left back. That's what happened. And they doubled Ashley Cole's wages. Yeah? And when you're a big club with big money and you're acting a certain way, bro, and you're putting money on the table for a bunch of different people, no one's telling you nothing. No one's telling you nothing. Even with like the whole Roman Abramovich situation, they see how it's funny that people are bringing it all up now, going on like the people in the game didn't know who Roman Abramovich was when he took over at Chelsea. Yeah, they could have looked at what was going on at Chelsea when Roman Abramovich started catapulting their finances into the universe. I don't know, bro. They could have looked at that, but they knew who Roman was. They knew what he was capable of doing. Everybody was taking a piece of the pie, and nobody wanted to say anything. Oh, but now there's a war breaking out, and there's a side that are coming together and they're unifying. Oh, now we can stand up and say, you know what, Roman, you're a dickhead. Yeah, Roman, you know what, get out of the club. We're taking everything that you have at the club, and we're gonna. And that's what they done. That's what they done. They bullied the team because they had a nice, strong collective of support that was ready to force anyone in the UK or anyone in the USA. Come on, you have to remember who drives the bus of the planet right now. Yeah, when you got USA on your side, yeah, when you got USA on your side riding for you, you start moving wicked. Yeah, and that's the reason why they forced Roman and they put pressure on Roman and they flipping done whatever they done to Roman. You know, there was an agenda at play, man. Don't get it twisted. There was an agenda at play. You just need to know how the world of politics works, blood. Before that, they knew who Roman was. They knew what he was capable of doing. They knew what he was on. They knew his circle of friends. They knew. But they didn't care because everybody was eating the piece of the pie. Everybody was eating a piece of the pie. You understand? Come on. Come on. That's not a decision that requires thinking. Real Madrid can take Garnacho easy. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. He's no Ronaldo. He couldn't even lace his boots. 110%, nowhere near it. But he's still young, man. Garnacho's 19. So if he goes to the right team with the right system, right manager, right profile of players around him, he cooks quicker than he would cook at Man United. I think Man United is just a circus right now. It's going to be hard for a Garnacho to even reach what Man United with what Ronaldo done at Man United, based on what he's got around him. It's fucking, you're in the mud. You're in the mud, man. But anyway, let's move on to the last topic of discussion. Man like Joshua Kimmich. There is a lot being said right now. Let me get all the reports up. Joshua Kimmich being linked with a move to Arsenal. Arsenal contacts Joshua Kimmich, according to these fraudulent publications. And yeah, we're going to touch on this. I've got 5 minutes to touch on this. Make sure we are hitting the like button. I'm seeing that the likes are not where they're meant to be, ladies and gentlemen. We've got well over 100 people locked in. The likes aren't where they're meant to be. Hit that like button. All right, all right. So let's get these publications up. Let's get these publications up. So trying to find everything that there is to find on this. Everything that there is to find on this. Okay, where's the first? All right, so the ones that we've got on the screen is this one, isn't it? Let me just quickly double check. So Arsenal, one of the 5 big clubs in consideration for Joshua Kimmich, who could leave Bayern Munich, in the summer. Other reports, Bayern Munich are prepared to sell Joshua Kimmich. Where is it gone? No, you disappeared on me. Oh, yeah. All right. That's what you do. All right, let's switch over here then. We go back. We go back, you fucking fraudulent piece of shit. Yeah? Piece of shit. Hate when a computer does that, bruv. Why would you do that now, man? Just fucks up the transitions, bro. I'm trying to just flow. I'm trying to flow with fluidity. All right, cool. Where was we? So, Bayern Munich are prepared to sell Joshua Kimmich this summer if a suitable offer arrives, whilst the player is not ruling out a move and is open to discussions with clubs. Only 5 clubs are in consideration for Kimmich right now. It's Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Real Madrid, and Barcelona. Some of these clubs have already contacted the player about a move. A move to Manchester United, Chelsea, and PSG is not an option. And that's according to some guy called Paletti Goal. Yeah, Paletti Goal. But it does say here, the quick one here that we see is the main jump out sentence, shall I say, is some of the clubs have already made contact. Now, who are the clubs that have made contact? Are Arsenal one of the clubs that have made contact? Well, one thing we do know, ladies and gentlemen, is Arsenal have been in Germany recently doing a lot of scouting. We've scouted a number of players in Germany, which means that we have been in contact with someone in Germany, whether it was someone at Bayern Munich, whether it was someone at Bayern Leverkusen, whether it was someone at Borussia Mönchengladbach, whether it was we've been in contact with someone. Now, we've got another report coming out this morning. I'm not going to open up the actual article because they've got so many different ads on there. It's unbelievable. But they say Arsenal make contact with Bayern Munich star over huge summer transfer. So they confirm it, but there's a link here to click into the main story. I'm not clicking into the main story because there's a bunch of adverts on there. And my computer will start running all mad. Not going to lie, if we get Kimmich, it's a wrap. Him or De Jong for the best midfielders we can get this summer. Big up Hush. And you're right. If you sign a Kimmich, can you think about Kimmich and Declan Rice in the middle of the park? Kimmich and Declan Rice in the middle of the park. Bro, you shut up shop, man. You shut up shop. You know, those 2 players give Odegaard the freedom to express and to thrive. You know, the link up between Kimmich and Odegaard will be a next level. The blonde brothers just coming together and doing some mad Eastern European link up, yeah? And, bro, it'll just be crazy. I think that midfield will be mad. Kimmich, Rice, and Odegaard. And then imagine we bring in another number 6. You bring in another number 6 to kind of that. We need that defensive number 6. We know Decky can go into that number 6 role if we want him to, but we've clearly seen that Mikel Arteta wants to play Decky as an 8. So if we sign Kimmich, not only can Kimmich play as the 6 and the 8, but we also sign ourselves another 6 that can also kind of back up the 6s that we already have. Because you've got to think, we get rid of Thomas Partey, seems inevitable. We get rid of Mohamed El-Neni, seems inevitable. That only leaves us Jorginho, Odegaard, Declan Rice, and that's about it. And then you're probably looking at Lokonga. You add Joshua Kimmich to it, instantly slots in. Then you've got a 4-man: Odegaard, Jorginho, Declan Rice, Kimmich. The only missing link to that is someone that can come in and solidify your defense. We have Declan Rice that can do that. But let's say, you know, we want to bring in another one. It would make sense for me to then bring in another number 6. We can then look at Amadou Onana. We could then look at someone that's got those defensive qualities. You know, them way there. So I think it will make sense. Kimmich is 5'8", won't work in the Premier League. It doesn't matter about his height. We don't need him for his aerial presence. We don't need Kimmich for his aerial presence. People are looking at the wrong qualities to say it's not going to work. It's not going to work, bro. Did it work for Marco Silva? Marco Silva? Who the fuck is Marco Silva? David Silva, sorry. Marco Silva. That is someone, though. Who is Marco Silva? Anyway, did it work for David Silva? Has it worked? Did it work for Gundogan? Did it work for who else has been small and dainty in the league? Bernardo Silva. Has it worked for Bernardo Silva? Marco Silva's the manager at Fulham. Exactly. Why did his name come into my head? You know, what about Zubimendi? Look how small he is. He looks small, you know. Kante, what about Kante? Did it not work for Kante? He was small. He's about 5'8", 5'7", wasn't he? Come on, man. You can't say, oh, because he's small, it's not going to work in the Premier League. Come on, man. It's a bit silly. You're looking at the wrong qualities there, blood. What Kimmich has, the technical quality, the defensive quality, the offensive qualities, the physical qualities as well. Like, bro, this guy is cooking in the Premier League. Cooking. Especially for a team that are dominating possession. We're a team that have the ball 70% of the time, which means that Kimmich is always going to be on the ball. And his technical ability on the ball is out of this world. So you give him the ball, he ain't losing it. He ain't giving a boy a lousy pass. The guy's one of the best passers in Europe for a reason. One of the best passers in Europe for a reason. Come on, man. He would also be killing it in set pieces. He will be a target for set pieces and will be bullied. Can't risk it in the 4-6. Bro, when we don't need him to do set pieces, does Jorginho get involved in set pieces? Is Jorginho in the 18-yard box trying to win headers? No, he's not. Is Thomas Partey in the 18-yard box trying to win headers from corners? Come on, bruv. What are you talking about? People are reaching here. Those players that you mentioned are better technically. So you're telling me Kante is a better technically player than Joshua Kimmich? Come on, man. You're waffle. Well, that's waffle at its finest, blood. You're telling me Kante is a better technical player than Kimmich? You're telling me Jorginho is a better technically gifted player than Kimmich? Oh my God, what is man on? You man smoking the wrong caddy packs this morning, blood. I tell ya. You man are smoking the wrong caddy packs. It's the mad thing, because when we were linked with Declan Rice, there was bare man saying the same thing about Decky, and Decky has come and proved a bunch of dons wrong, and that's the great thing about it. That's the great thing about it. He's proved a bunch of dons wrong, and that's exactly. Bro, ball resistance. So you're telling me Joshua Kimmich ain't ball resistant? Ain't press resistant? Joshua Kimmich isn't press resistant, fam. Come on, bruv. Kante, you're talking about Kante. Come on, man. No. I'm not going to have that. You can't. Kante physically is a specimen. And Joshua Kimmich is what? Some lightweight don that can get thrown around the place. No. I'm not having that. I'm not having that. They're smoking Febreze packs. That's what I'm saying, cuz. Star Dog killing the people, them. Who remembers Torreira? But you're talking about a Torreira. So did Torreira play for Bayern Munich? Was Torreira... Where did we sign Torreira from? Oh, yes, we signed Torreira from a team that finished 11th in the league in Assyria. They finished 11th in the league when we signed him. Don't compare Lucas Torreira, who went over to Galatasaray and flopped at Galatasaray, in comparison to Joshua Kimmich. I think people are losing it. And on that basis, I'm going to wrap this up. It's been an absolute pleasure. An absolute pleasure. I think your comparisons are very, very wild. Listen, bro, he can play as a central midfielder. He can play as a right back. Thanks to Pep Guardiola, he turned him into a great central midfielder that was putting balls on the plates for most of the players. We see what he done against Man United a little while ago, yeah? You see what he done against them, you know? But big up all the real ones in the building. I am going to wrap this up. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you ever so much for tuning in this morning. I'm actually running late for my meeting, actually, so I do need to wrap this up. But big up all the real ones. Hit the like button. Do subscribe. We should be well over 50 likes by now. If we're not, get us over 50 likes right now, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, hit the like button. I will be back later on today as well. We've got another stream happening later on this evening. So make sure you turn your notification bells on for that. You don't want to miss out on that. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you then. Peace.